Hello guys, welcome back to another video. My name's ChiefDog74 and let's get into this one. So today guys, we're going to be doing, as the title says, a full 100% race around a track. And I've never done a 100% race before, and I wanted to do it at Silverstone, which of course they recently raced at just yesterday, and it's also my home Grand Prix, and I'm not amazingly good at it, so hopefully, however many laps it is, I think it's like 52 or something like that, will help me get better at my home track, so when it is time for F1 2021, I'll be very good at that track in my team. But you're probably wondering, well, where is F1 2021? Everyone else is doing videos on it. It's out now, both versions, but unfortunately I won't be buying it just yet because it's pretty expensive at the moment for a game that's only going to last a year. Because of course I think I'm definitely going to buy F1 2022, hopefully more close to the date it's out, because of course that's when the new regulations are changed, so it'll be much more interesting to drive the car. But there's a few problems in the game as well, like the mini game for practice that really wears the gearbox, and I don't like the gearbox wear system. It's not that it's bad, it's just I don't like doing it, so if it's not in a good state at the moment, then I'm gonna have a really bad time with it. And yeah, there's also the fact that it's half the calendar is missing, which isn't really their fault. That's sort of F1's for flicking between tracks, like first we had Turkey, then to replace Canada, and then Turkey's gone, then Austria was put in place, now Turkey's been where Singapore is, and they haven't created Imola or Portimao, of course, because they've been working on this game since 2020 came out. So yeah, so I'd like to see those fixed before I start doing a career, but that's not what the video is about today, so let's get on with the video then. So I am going to be driving an Aston Martin as Alexander Albon, and like I said, we're going to be doing it around Silverstone. I've already set the driver AI, I'm going to put it to 100%. I don't want formation lap because that's just a waste of time. I am going to do one shot, but I'm not going to show you this, and I'm gonna put it to clear, just so I can get a good feel for the track. Otherwise, if it's wet, then it's not brilliant. So yeah, let's just get into it, and I'll see you with future me at the race.
A warm welcome to you all joining us here at Silverstone today as the grid begins to form up for what we hope will be another phenomenal race. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the British Grand Prix. Straddling the border of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire, the 18 corners of the Silverstone circuit form the 3.6-mile beating heart of Formula One. It's been reinvented over the years, with Turn 1 now the fast right-hander of Abbey, but the magic of racing is as strong here as it's ever been. And I'm delighted, as always, to introduce Anthony Davidson, who'll be taking you through all the action alongside me today.
Well, it was a really impressive lap in qualifying to get pole position, but are they going to be able to hold on to the lead into the first corner with so many quick starters around them? And of course, it's looking very close here today. A lot's going to be riding on those first few corners, and then the question becomes who can manage their tyres so they're in a better position to push hard towards the end.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Albon, Charles Leclerc and Norris, Ricciardo, Perez, Stroll and Carlos Sainz, Gasly, Ocon, Sebastian Vettel and Kvyat, Raikkonen, Grosjean, George Russell and Kevin Magnussen, Giovinazzi and Nicholas Latifi. Now, it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Alright then, hello. So, here we have it then. This is the strategy for the race. Soft tyre to the medium. Can't complain about it. It's going to be sunny all through. Probably because I picked that. And we have 54.5 laps of fuel. And we'll have 52 laps of this race, so it would take about 80 minutes to do this race. So yeah, I know we've got a lot of fuel, but there's a good feeling that we're going to need it this race. So here we go then to 5 red lights here at Silverstone for a 100% race, my first ever, and it's lights out, and here we go. And we have a decent start here. We are alongside Bottas as we go into turn 1. We leave him the space, we leave him the room, and well, we're still alongside, but I do get in front by turn 2, I guess. Turn 1 was kind of already done there, and now we go through turn 4. Usually where we'd have DRS, but of course DRS doesn't come in until lap 3. But Bottas doesn't need it because he's still right alongside us, so give him as much room as possible, and unfortunately that gives me a wide line through that corner. And as we go through this one, almost squeezing him out, try to leave as much room as possible. I didn't want to cause a collision or something. And Bottas is still all over the back of us as we go through Cobb's corner, and up to Maggots, then Beckett's, then of course Chapel after, and unfortunately Hamilton and Verstappen have already waltzed away, so not really any sight of a P2 or 1, but Bottas wants our P3, and what we will do is we'll try and go down the inside. We leave him enough space, but he backs out of it. Fair play. And well, we come through the final chicane here and around the final corner, and that will finish lap 2. So Jeff thinks we're looking good, but of course Bottas is still right behind. And as we go through Brooklyn's corner, I think that's what it's called, I just couldn't turn the car. Bottas got away through, and we couldn't keep up with him. And now Leclerc's alongside us as well as we go into Cobb's corner here, and squeeze him to the edge. That allows Norris to get past, and now Norris is going for us now, but we leave him the room, we leave him the space, and he gets past. A little bit of a tap on the rear of Norris, but he's off now, unfortunately. And we now have Leclerc for company. So within a lap, we've gone down from P3 to P5, which isn't what we wanted here. And now we're on to lap 3 round Brooklands, and well, we've got Leclerc for company still, as he sticks straight behind us, trying to see perhaps we can be forced into a mistake here. And well, he gets the drive here, and he tries to go through Maggots with me, and then Beckett's. He backs out here, and that was nice to see. But through Chapel we go, and onto the Kemmel Straight, I believe this is. And he's got the DRS here. He tries to go through and Stowe, but I make sure he doesn't go through just there. And onto lap 5 with Brooklands again. and well, I run a bit wide there onto the gravel a bit there, and that has led Leclerc to try and take a move on us. He tries to go round the outside, 4 cops, thinks less of it, and then I go a bit wide, and that has let Leclerc straight through. And well, Ricardo's still right behind us, almost gets alongside us through Beckett's and then into Chapel, but Leclerc is already ahead. I try to catch him up with DRS, which looks to be likely now, so we try to go through into Stowe down the inside, and with Charles, but he just gets the better line on the outside, the racing line. So we try down the inside on this chicane, and he gives us a good squeeze. We leave the room, and he backs out in the end, and that is us back into P5. So already within lap 6, I'm having to work overdrive here in order to keep ahead. But someone else which is working even harder is Ricardo, as he now tries to go round the outside of us at Cops. We leave him the space, we leave him the room, and unfortunately he is currently passed into Maggots and into Beckett's here, and of course Chapel. And well, we try and get back at him with DRS, Rich Mix, and of course overtake, although Rich Mix isn't a thing in the new game. Or well, it is, but you can't control it. But of course that's not an issue here on F1 2020, and we get past Ricardo once again. So wow, within 6 laps of this 52 lap race, we've got a lot to handle, and on lap 8 Ricardo's back at us again. Excuse me. And he tries to go down the inside of Cops. We don't leave him any room there, not allowing him to get through. But this is consistent, lap after lap after lap. Constant pressure from Ricardo, always on this straight into Cops, or in from the Kemmel straight into Stowe. And this is what I mean, again a lap 10 this time, and he is right behind us still, within 0.3 seconds, so it's a tough ask to keep him behind. And by lap 15 he almost makes it round. We squeeze him wide. I go a bit off track there, but yeah, Ricardo's got some sort of magical powers or something, because I just cannot keep him behind for very much longer. I don't know if it's the fuel or I just really don't like these softs, but yeah, unfortunately Ricardo tries to go round the outside of Stowe again. We don't let him this time, but I'm really starting to feel it here. This is really tiring for me, and I'm running out of fuel and overtake really. And by lap 16 we have Ricardo still behind us. He tries to actually go through into Abbey on turn 1 and almost forces us a bit off track as we try to leave him room, but he sticks behind just for now. Still 0.2 seconds between us, so I reckon into this straight here not gonna be lasting, as now here he comes in, and into Brooklands as we go. We give him a good squeeze, give him a good fight, and that has kept him behind for now at least. Of course we have this problematic straight, but he doesn't actually get us there, but he will try and go again for this straight right here into Stowe, and he's already got the job done with DRS. I try to stick with him, but dirty air just not working out. Jeff keeps trying to say we'll focus, try and get him back, but I think he's gone. I think we held him up too much and he is away, and unfortunately that will be P6 now for us instead of P5. I tried all my best to keep him behind, but in the end nothing much I could do. Plus I'm not actually very good at defense. I need to learn a bit on how to defend well. and I could do some tips on attacking, but even still, with all three of the boosters here, still not enough to try and get anywhere near Ricardo. And as you can see, by lap 20 he is well away within 2 seconds. So now we have a bit of tyre wear, 60%. Luckily our scheduled pit stop is to pit in on lap 23. And there's our sign there, approaching the pit window, and the mediums will be the tyre on. But of course we still have to outlive Leclerc. He does give us a new strategy. We could pit on this lap, but I decided to stick with 23 because, well, even though these tyres aren't feeling great, I don't want to pit when everyone else isn't pitting. And even though that, yeah, we could do an undercut, it might also not work out and cause us even more problems towards the end of the race. But out of cops here then, Ocon has got now Leclerc, and well, it doesn't keep him long, because out of Chapel it was a bit poor from me. He has the DRS, and well, I don't need a full race update, because all I need is that Ocon is coming straight at us around the outside Stowe. We keep him away, and yeah, Jeff, I kind of got the idea that he was away, right behind us. Science interesting in pits now. Don't know the strategy there, but you know, it might work out for him. The undercut is possible. So we'll have to see. But it's P5 at the moment. I don't actually know why that froze and unfroze there, but Ocon is in front now onto the old straight here, and into cops. He just forced me back a little bit there, almost backs me up into Leclerc here, so perhaps Leclerc might have a look at a move. He is 0.1 seconds behind, but just like with the other Renault of Daniel Ricciardo, I think that Ocon is safely away. And unfortunately, no matter how hard I'll try, there is no catching Ocon. He is unfortunately away here. And so on to lap 23, and this is crunch time. This is where we need to go as fast as we can. Don't forget about all of the tyre wear, and took that second corner rather widely, kind of the tyre wear showing, but we need to forget about it. Just go full pelt, full mode, and have a good in lap for our pit stop, of course, this lap. And yeah, I think it's about time. Our tyre wear was 67% there, so yeah, pretty shocking. But in we come to the pits then, and that was actually a pretty good into the pits sequence there. And here we go, the Red Bull boys with the yellow tyres of medium. 2.6 stops isn't actually that bad. I've had a lot worse stops, so we'll have to see what we can do here. We're in P14, but of course others still need to make their stops. And on the way out here then of my stop, I all of a sudden get a red incoming arrow, and that red incoming arrow is Lance Stroll right behind us. Now this is full position, as Max now goes into the pits, which Jeff gives us a good reading of. And now we have Stroll up the inside. He's already got the move done, but hopefully we can stick with him. And so we do round Brooklands. Have to slow down quite a bit, almost pushing into Stroll there, but yeah, our fuel's looking great. We do have a lot of overtake though, so I'm starting to use that to try and catch up to Stroll. Unfortunately not currently close, but out through Chapel onto the straight. We have the DRS, we have the rich mix, we have the overtake, and we are through into Stowe, and that is a really big confident booster for me. Even though we were the faster car by quite some mile, that really gives me confidence whenever I am able to overtake, even if it is just for P17 currently, as we have Raikkonen in the pits and Leclerc also in the pits. Leclerc's actually gone behind Stroll, so that was a pretty of a nightmare pit stop for Leclerc, and we now have Stroll in between, and now Magnussen, as we overtake him for position. Giovinazzi slowing, no room for from Latifi there, but that's kind of fair enough. He was on the racing line, wasn't my corner as they call it. But yeah, this is still full position, and so as we go through Cops now into Maggots and Beckett's, of course, and fortunately we are through past Latifi, so hopefully he hasn't slowed us down enough to perhaps ruin our race or anything. But of course, as soon as it's lap 26, we have Ocon to contend with now. His pit stop went okay, but not quite as well as ours. I reckon his tyre wear did mean that we were able to catch up, even though we had a bit of traffic. So now we are looking to get Esteban Ocon. If we can, that would be pretty good for us. It will get us into P11, but there's still a few runners actually that need to pit, so soon enough that'll be close. But down this old start finish straight we go, and really just can't get anywhere near Ocon, and fortunately have to go into the lean mix. But a lap later, and we go full burn, full rich, full overtake. See, we can try and make a move or even catch up to Ocon. Unfortunately it's gonna have to be the latter, and we actually have Sainz behind. I think that's Grosjean up ahead in P8, and so that's definitely slowing down Sainz, which could be rather useful. Now into P9 though, or P8, and Esteban Ocon is in P7, so hopefully we can get a move fairly soon, I would hope. Sainz isn't actually too far ahead, so Grosjean slowing him down definitely did help me there. But now onto this straight as we head towards Brooklands. Can we make a move, a dive? Yes, we can. Wasn't the cleanest move I've made, but it wasn't horrific, I would say. At least it was just a nice dive bomb, and that gives us the fastest sector actually, and it gets Jeff's approval. But we're not quite out of the woods yet, because here comes Esteban Ocon with DRS down this straight into Stowe, tries around the outside, locks up though, and that allows us to keep on the inside, keep our position, and doing wonders here. In lap 29, Ocon still right behind us. It's pretty crazy how our Renault's able to keep with us. He tries to go round Stowe again on the outside, but I just do the same copycat move, and it keeps us ahead. So P7 for the meantime. Lap 30 though, Ocon has fallen away. We get the fastest first sector actually, so that's good to see as we try and catch Sainz now. I reckon it is possible, since he's not doing too well actually. I don't know whether it's perhaps him trying to preserve tyres, or maybe this stint just really is a lot better. It definitely felt a lot better, and well, the results are showing, because now lap 31 we're within DRS range of Carlos Sainz. Down this straight we definitely can be lethal. Give it a few laps. So lap 32, Sainz still here, we're still in DRS range. I feel like we're definitely catching up to him, and therefore we're also catching up to Ricciardo as well, although he is a bit off in the distance, 2.6 seconds ahead. It still could be possible, but now here we are on Sainz, lap 33. DRS is engaged. Can we get Sainz on the straight into Brooklands? Well, maybe, but I decide to hold off, and but now we have held off. We have had patience. No, I'm not going to put it to mix 2 just yet. I'm going to get past Carlos Sainz and now put it into mix 2, and that has put us up into P6. So similar scenario towards the start of the race where we have Ricciardo in front. Sainz has actually done pretty well with that undercut stop. So yep, well done for McLaren, but we don't really care at this moment, and we look towards getting Ricciardo now, although this is going to take quite some time. I think we are going to be patient though. Patience is the name of the game at the moment, so we'll just keep with the patience, and well, the patience says to just try our best to stick with Ricciardo, try and get as fast as we can, and hopefully towards the end of the race we'll be able to overtake Ricciardo possibly. It's going to be a hard task, and I'm in a really hot room when I was racing, so that was rather well, it felt like what it would probably be like for the drivers yesterday on a hot Silverstone day, but at every lap we get closer and closer, now down to 0.7 seconds, and Ricciardo's nameplate clearly shown here as we go through lap 39, so only 12-13 laps to go or so, and Ricciardo's still definitely in our sights. Norris is pretty far up the road, 12 seconds. I don't really see us catching him really, yeah, we still just try and stick behind for Ricciardo using DRS. Try to preserve my fuel though, in case something does happen, but yeah, so still behind Ricciardo, but just be patient. I'll get there soon. As lap 40 now rings now to lap 41 actually, and well, we're now within DRS range, as it will show now, of Ricciardo onto this straight, so clear sign of improvement here. And I'm actually kind of surprised that nobody's retired yet. Usually there'll be a couple of people retiring in even a 25% race, so I was a bit surprised to see all 20 cars still intact by lap 41, but it is Silverstone, so there isn't often much action here really, it has to be said, unfortunately. But yeah, we have Ricciardo right in our sights now, and possibly could make a move into this start-finish straight here. It is lap 42, so about 10 or so laps, but I just stick behind. I keep being patient. This is probably the most patient I've been in a while, but we have laps to spend, so we might as well. Don't want to do some audacious dive which perhaps breaks our front wing, spins out Ricciardo, maybe even spins out us. So we just stick behind, get another fastest sector. We're right behind Ricciardo, just like he was for us, and we're constantly pressuring him. Maybe he'll make an AI mistake all over this pressure. As we go down through lap 43 onto lap 44. Here's a full update.
Less than a second separate you. They're on old mediums. Sainz is behind you. Our gap behind is 5.8 seconds. They're on old mediums. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. 9 laps to go.
So yeah, 9 laps to go now for this race, and DRS is once again engaged. yeah, I am increasing the gap behind, but I'm also increasing, or decreasing actually, the gap in front, as we're now right on Ricciardo, and actually we have a back marker ahead, so if worst comes to worst, even though we're pushing Ricciardo through that corner there, we could use Latifi to perhaps slow Ricciardo down to make the overtake. But lap 44 then into Magnussen, Beckett and Chapel. This high G corner is actually one of the highest that the F1 team goes through, 5.1 G. But we don't care about the G's now, because we're going straight past Ricciardo. Bit of a tap there on the rear end of his tyre, but we are through into Stowe. Lap 44, we've finally done the move. Took a long time, gets Jeff's approval, and that is good news, smiles all round, as we're now up into P5. And well, we've got a different back marker ahead, Giovinazzi, which of course has happened, and Kimi Raikkonen's out. Now we've got a safety car. Now this is where we could possibly get Norris back, although there's not many laps really. We only have 5 laps of fuel, so about 5 laps left of this race, and we have to slow down for this safety car. And Giovinazzi is actually ahead, and that could actually be a problem because we can't overtake him. There's Raikkonen to the side there, but we can't overtake Raikkonen or Giovinazzi. We can't overtake him, even though he is a back marker, because of course it's a safety car. And in this game and the next game, they haven't put in the idea of how cars can unlap themselves if it's behind a safety car. And now lap 50, this is when the safety car will come in. So question is, can we get Norris? We're now finally actually catching the safety car queue. Still behind Giovinazzi, Ricciardo's close behind, Sainz is a bit far off, and now we prepare to go back to racing, as now green flags are shown. It's racing time. I need Giovinazzi straight out the way if I have any chance of getting Norris. Thankfully he does, and I don't care about tyre wear at this point, Jeff. We've only got 2 laps or so. It's time to go after Norris. We have Grosjean in between, which is going to cause a few problems here as he slows, almost goes straight into him, but he does leave the space fortunately, and Magnussen, or one of the other back markers ahead, has left the space for Norris. Yeah, it is Magnussen. So really have to try and put our foot down, and Magnussen slows us again. This isn't what we needed. This isn't what we needed. Almost have to make an overtake on him. He's not giving me any space. That was rather annoying. But luckily our fellow Brit here, Russell, lets us past, and lovely to see from Russell. That's the kind of blue flags I wanted to see. But now it's just me and Norris, no back markers really. There are a few ahead, which we might catch on the end of this lap, but we need to close the gap down. It's now down to 0.6 actually, as we go through Stowe here. Can we beat Norris? Can we get P4 where we started? It's going to be close, I can say that much. But of course ahead we have both AlphaTauris of Gasly and Kvyat to attend needs to, as Gasly lets Norris past, and I'm kind of hoping that Gasly will let us pass as well. Luckily he does. Almost made contact with him actually, that was kind of close. But the real big question is, can we beat Norris? Can we catch him? We're right next to him, 0.4 seconds last lap. I know he's called last lap Lando. The question is, can we be a last lap Albon? As we now go through Brooklands for the final time. Right next to Norris, this is so close. Can we beat him? This is the final time we go on this old start-finish straight. Kvyat lets Norris by, lets me by. Good stuff from Kvyat, making sure this battle keeps going. And we are still right behind Norris, but my overtake and my fuel is very low. I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually catch him, guys. It's going to be really close though. I'll try as best I can. Down the straight, this is kind of the final chance. Our final chance. Fuel is completely out the window, and we haven't caught him here. Maybe an audacious dive onto the final chicane here, but no, Norris has prevailed. Lewis Hamilton wins. I go a bit wide here actually, but unfortunately it's only going to be a P5. Could have been a P4. Perhaps if there was an extra lap, or if some of the back markers got out of the way a bit more quickly, then maybe we would have got a P4. But still, that was a really enjoyable race, or enjoyable P5.
Well done to the team at Mercedes. Anthony, tell me, what was it that helped them achieve this success?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again.
So then here we have it. Lewis Hamilton on the podium with Verstappen in P2, and Bottas ends up getting P3. Fair enough, fair play. But yeah, I was really happy for that race. I know I didn't finish as high as I started, but still, brilliant race. I hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you did, then of course you could show it by leaving a like. You can also subscribe to any content of mine. Comment on anything you enjoy below. Hopefully I'll get F1 2021 soon, and I can start doing career, a my team one that is. But till then, this has been Chief Dog 74, and thank you for witnessing my first 100% race.